There is no doubt that for me this is probably the most anticipated aircraft model in 2021, but is it also any good? Well, we'll find out after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A320NEO of Scandinavian Airlines. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the SAS branding. Then on the back side of the box, unfortunately, we have yet another example of the terrible box design of Herpa Wings. What a shame. And here she is, the Airbus A320NEO in the new standard livery of Scandinavian Airlines. The aircraft model was originally intended to be in the 0304 release batch from Herpa Wings in 2021, but then ended up being delayed until the end of September. And I have been waiting every single day and been looking forward to this model quite a lot. So my expectations are high, but is it warranted? Is the model really able to live up to my high expectations? Well, we will find out by taking a closer look at it, starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the Scandinavian Airlines branding. On the fuselage we then find the highly stylized version of the three Scandinavian flags, from where SAS of course has its origins, so Norway, Sweden and Denmark. Underneath that we have the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we also have a bit of detailing around the EPU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we find the SAS branding and the Star Alliance logo, of which SAS is a founding member. We also find some printed details like static ports and sensors, and the three Scandinavian flags, and underneath that we have the name of the aircraft. The cockpit section itself, that consists of the cockpit windows and the so typical black mask of the A320NEO, but I guess Herpa then ran out of ink because they didn't add the window wipers. Then we can also take a quick look at the engine nacelles, which have been kept in this dark grey metallic coloring. Also have a blue circle, carry the Scandinavian Airlines branding, as well as some safety markings, and of course the silver leading edge. So I think Herpa's done a decent job with the print, and also the physical detailing of the engines I think is actually quite nice. But when I look at how the engines have been mounted, I don't think this is correct. In my opinion, they are facing far too much upwards. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have the emergency exits printed on, which leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting over the top side, where we can see the different flap slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We have some different shades of grey for additional detailing, as well as the markings for the emergency exit. The underside of the wings I think also has some lovely physical detailing, as well as the full registration code of the aircraft. And then my personal highlight could have been the winglets, because I think Herpa has done pretty decent with the print, but when we look closer, I would say on this winglet they have clearly overbent the winglet, so the angle is too steep, and whatever happened with this one, it clearly shouldn't have. The landing gear on the model is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their Airbus A320 family aircraft models. That's a good thing for the main landing gear, that looks rather decent, but not such a good thing for the front landing gear, which is oversized and is missing printed details. And then I wonder what Scandinavian Airlines is thinking of the fact that Herpa destroys their branding with a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A320NEO in the new standard livery of Scandinavian Airlines from Herpa Wings and scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Okay, let's quickly mention the obvious. That's of course the terrible front landing gear and the bad mold around the cockpit section. But that affects all A320 family aircraft models from Herpa Wings these days. The other thing here with this model specifically is of course the perfect treatment from the Herpa Wings quality control. Perfect of course means terrible in this case, because otherwise I can't explain how a model like this could ever be sold with engines that are clearly mounted incorrectly. And whatever happened to these winglets, I'm sorry, but this has been made by someone who is blind. Now I know this might now sound like I am hating this aircraft model, but that's actually not the case. We do have the improved engine mount, which means we have the good ground clearance for the Neo, and we do also have some additional details in the print. That's great, and what really saves the model for me is the livery. Now that's clearly credit that needs to be given to the airline and not Herpa, because they haven't created it, but it does somehow save the model in my opinion. And of of course also the issue with the engines and the winglets will not affect every model in this production batch. Just make sure that you check it out before you actually buy it. So in the end, I would say it could have been better, but it is still worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.